Good evening, everyone. Just a wrap up of the Grand Rapids City Council meeting for October 23rd, 2017, the work session and the regular council meeting. Work session ran actually a little bit long today. It started at 4 and it went for about an hour and a half. The critical part of the work session was we had two people in, Amber Pertello from the assessor's office and Jeff Walker from the county auditor's office in to talk about assessed market values and fiscal disparities. There's been a lot of issues out there on how do we assess and when have we been assessing, and there are some changes there. We're moving. We have been doing portions of assessments on 20% on a rotating basis over a 5-year period to work through it. We are going to be moving after the assessment's done here this summer in 2017. We will be moving to a one assessment date in 2023 where everything rolls into a 5-year plan where it's assessed. But if there's work done in that 5-year period that would impact from a major standpoint what your house is valued or something at, so you went in, you got a permit and you upgraded your home, that stuff would trigger an automatic assessment. Somebody would be coming out so that there's not the fear of losing market value from an assessment standpoint on properties out there. So that was what Amber updated us on, and then Jeff Walker updated us on fiscal disparities, the never-ending saga of 2 fiscal disparities, 7 county areas. The 7 county metro area certainly goes through fiscal disparities and why it works down there versus the 7 county northern fiscal disparities district, and what we see are the flaws in that one and how one area does not support some of the others. Yet we are obligated, without complete repeal of fiscal disparities, we're obligated that that's the system that we are going to be using as we go forward. I think the key that I took from that part of the meeting was what you as a property owner or a business owner see out there from a fiscal disparity standpoint of how much it is costing you. Unless it's totally repealed, that number is not what you would save if we weren't in fiscal disparities, because what you're paying in fiscal disparities goes into a pool and then that money comes back and we get a portion of that money back to the city. So right now, the city of Grand Rapids pays about $1.3 million into fiscal disparities, and we get about $600,000 to $700,000 back. So it's actually a negative on the cities from a tax standpoint of about $600,000 to $700,000. So that's spread out over all taxpayers as it's coming back, because we have to make up that deficit, the 1.2 to the 600 to 700,000 back. We got to make that deficit up, and that's spread out over all the taxpayers. So with the regular council meeting this afternoon, we did a department head report by Barb Baer. Talk a little bit about where we are from a financial standpoint. We're doing very well in what everyone from that department does individually, the cross trainings and the sections. Bottom line is literally everything that happens in the city of Grand Rapids at some point in time touches base with finance. We have to finance it, we have to pay for it, so Barb's department is very critical. A couple of things on consent that we're going to sell our old snow blower. It had been functioning poorly over the last couple of years. I was constantly shearing pins, and every time you shear a pin, not only does the snowblower go down, but you've got all of the truck drivers and everybody else sitting around, so we were losing a lot of time. So last year we approved purchase of a new snowblower that will not shear pins. It is hydraulic driven, so when they get something that plugs up in that snow unit, they just back it off, it resets itself or encumbers that pluggage, and then they can get going. So we're going to save a lot of time with that new snowblower and stuff this year. So the old one, we are going to be selling that on consignment. We approved the liquor licenses for 2018 for most of the city businesses that have applied for renewal, so we approved that this evening. We changed the status of Dion Holcomb Card from a part-time to a full-time employee at the library. We also, with some changes, we approved the appointment of Seth Jetland to the GIS technician position. Now, if it becomes a clerical position, the hire date would be effective tomorrow, October 24th. If, based on the Bureau of Mediation, if they deem that it's not a clerical position, his date of hire would be December 1st, 2017 to take effect. And that's because the reason we're doing that is we want this position to fall under the 49ers immediately versus when the rest of the city moves over to 49er coverage January 1st. If you recall, the city made the decision a month ago that we were switching from our current insurance carrier from a health standpoint to the 49ers, and that's over the next few years is going to save us several $100,000 in premium costs. So, plus it's a better insurance pool program. So, with that, Rob Matei came in, did a community development, Pekegama Appliance, plat. Mike Kellen has got a piece of land that he'd purchased from UPM. It's out on Pekegama Lake. If you know where Grace Bible Chapel is, it's just on the back side of that. It's 12.3 acres that he is going to develop into one common lot and 8 single-family lots for development out there. So if you're looking at a lot with this approved, you might want to follow up with Mike Kellen, and there will be an opportunity to build a single-family home on a piece of property that is going to have a common shared access to Pekegama Lake. We paid the bills, and with that, we look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. Hopefully, the weather will hold. If you get a chance, get out and support the Grand Rapids High School football team tomorrow night. They're playing first-round section game in football, so get out and support an athletic team. Hopefully, they will be successful, and then they'll have a road game after that. But they do have a home game tomorrow night. So take care and have a nice evening.